there, Crystal Thompson here for Simon Says Stamp. Today I have the newest release, All the Fields, and I am creating a floral borders on ink blending with a slimline stamp set, using it on a non-slimline card and showing you what an easy way it is to use these beautiful borders and the awesome sentiments included in the stamp set. Stay tuned for the full tutorial. I have the coloring, the blending, everything is on this card, and nothing's done pre-done, so you can see the full process right under 10 minutes. So as I mentioned, we have the brand new release, All the Fields, and we're using the chevron pattern, beautiful stencil. It's quite large actually, 6x9. And then we have the Slimline Florals, also a very large stamp set, so it's like 6x8. I have my Misty ready to go with the beautiful sentiment, So Much Thanks, and I have my cardstock. This is Neenah, 110 pound, and I have it cut 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I'm going to be using soft navy for the ink color, and this is a Simon Says Stamp ink pad available on their store, of course, and I really love this color. It goes on really dark, almost black, but as the cardstock absorbs it and it dries up, is a beautiful navy color. For our second stamp set, we're using the Fossil, which is just a really light gray. Light enough to like see it, but light enough to know, like dark enough to know it's a gray. And we're using So Much Thanks, My Friend. We're going to set that aside and let that dry. So I have my huge stencil, right? This is meant for slimline cards, but I wanted to use it on a regular size card, in A2. So I have my cardstock ready to go. I've attached some washi tape. I have completely lost my purple tape. I don't know where it went. And we're going to attach the stencil to the cardstock. We're using 3 colors of Distress Oxides. We're going to start with Dried Marigold, and I'm going to speed up the video just a little bit so you can see the full process of the blending. Hindsight, I wish that I would have not gotten so wide with my ink blending, but we're going to add the color down at the bottom and then bringing that color up to the top and then really tapering off at the top so you get a little bit left of that white cardstock. Next, we're going to use that Peacock Feathers, which is a really pretty tealish blue. And as you can see, when the blue and the yellow mix, you get a bit of a green shade. Next, we're going to use the Faded Jeans, which is a really pretty navy-ish blue. And again, starting from the bottom, blending up, and then blending the Peacock Feathers and the Faded Jeans, and it creates a beautiful little like purplish teal. And then coming back to that Dried Marigold. And so creating this really pretty pattern. And I felt like I really wanted to make the bottom part of the cardstock nice and dark and very, very full of color. I'm going to move on back to Peacock Feathers and just touching up those places where I felt there wasn't enough. Once it's done, we're going to remove the stencil and then remove the back edges. And you have a really beautiful, nice background set that we created for this card. Next, I have a strip of a gray cardstock. This is also Simon Says, and I'm going to use my Tombow mono adhesive, and I'm going to bring the top cardstock over the colored and create a tiny little strip of this gray. And so I could have used less cardstock on this and saved myself a piece, but I love to save any and all scraps for purposes like this, and then it gives it just a little more dimension and it really cleans it up. We're going to add some foam adhesive to the back of our ink blending stenciling cardstock, and we're going to line up the top right corner to the top corner of our card base. And I like to create card panels and then placing these on my card bases. It makes it very easy for storage. And it just makes it super fast to be able just to glue on a card panel over a card base. So I've sprayed it with gold spray just to speed up the process. I'm going to bring back my mini Misty, or my large Misty actually, because this is a large stamp set. And the stamp set has 2 gorgeous floral arrangements. One of the Slimline is a frame and the other one is a border. So I'm going to use the border with this. I'm going to stamp it down with the Simon Says Stamp watermark embossing ink, and then I'm going to come in with a navy blue embossing powder, also from Simon. As you can see, it's a gorgeous blue. And then when we heat set it, it has a little bit of a metallic tone, not much, but it's a really, really dark blue. I'm gonna bring in my Copics and begin coloring. I'm not gonna do a ton of blending. I'm gonna speed up the process as well of the coloring for this. And I'm going to be placing the tops of the markers there so you can see the different colors. So I'm going to be adding the lightest colors over the edges of these leaves, and then following up with YG95 for the base shade, and then coming back and shading these two. Again, not being super intricate in my coloring, and trying just to stay within the lines, but ultimately just trying to choose really bright colors that are going to work nicely over the ink blending that we just did, and trying to match those colors. So after I did the ink blending with those distress oxides, I came back to my Copic chart and said, you know what, this peach will match with these peaches, and this blue will match with that blue, and so on and so forth. And that way you have a coordinating arrangement of colors that are not going to clash with that background that we just ink blended. We're going to finish up the border of the florals with this gray, and I felt that this gray matched that little strip of cardstock that we added to the ink blend from earlier. And again, another great way to really get all these colors to work together and coordinate the card. I just really like when it looks all put together. And if you're struggling with color combinations, go on Pinterest. I usually find an image that I absolutely love, and it's a great inspiration for coloring. So I'm going to bring in my scissors, and I'm going to fussy cut the borders. There is available dies for this, so if you have a die cutting machine, you can grab the matching dies and skip yourself the fussy cutting. I have a double layer of foam ready to go, and then I'm going to bring in some gold thread, and this is just basic sewing thread, and I'm just going to do like circles, wrapping it around and letting the adhesive from the foam hold it for me. And then once it's all put together without any of the thread just kind of hanging out, we're going to place this onto our ink blended pattern for our card. Now that the thread's all ready to go, we're going to place it at the bottom part of the ink blending, really allowing both blends, the darkest part at the bottom and then how it tapers off to the top. As you can see, this is the Slimline card, so I'm going to turn over my card panel and cut off the edges of those florals, but no worries, we're going to use these as well to create more dimension. But it looks really pretty. That thread just gave it a little more color, and it looks a little more elegant. I've added foam pieces to the back of those edges that we just cut off, and I'm going to place some on the top edges, top left and right edges of our border to really just make that further. And it doesn't look like a border stamp, and it just makes it look super put together. I'm going to bring in my favorite glue, which is the Mono Tombow adhesive liquid, and this dries clear, and I'm adding little droplets of glue because I'm going to bring in some jewels or crystals, and these are going to sit nicely over that glue, and it's going to bring some more color to it. I thought about using gold, but I really wanted to continue incorporating that silver gray cardstock along with the gray that we used for the border stock, and using my jewel picker upper to really put all those jewels in place. And guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for joining me today in the newest release, the All the Feels. This is perfect for spring. I feel like Mother's Day is coming up, and these stamps and stencils and all the things are absolutely beautiful. The product descriptions are in the video descriptions with links to the Simon Says store. Those links are affiliate, so if you purchase something, I get a tiny little commission to no extra cost to you. and it helps these videos and me providing more tutorials for you. And if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and please click subscribe for notifications on new videos. We'll see you guys later. Have an amazing day.